everyone, I welcome you on this ride in my old vintage car. It helps me to, get relaxed, get my mind, in a sound state. It's like calming the waters of my mind, settles the mud. So if you enjoy such things, I thought I could share this. This car is from 1971, but the platform that it's built on dates even more backward. Originally Fiat, later licensed to Lada to be produced under their brand. And this is just the most, or among the most folksy car I can imagine, given my location of growing and residence. Lately I really enjoy the simple things. I feel like the world is getting so complex and intertwined that the simplicity of these things just brings kind of soundness into everything. Like, look how simple this is. This button right here is my wipers, water, sprinklers, squirters, what you call them. And this button wipes it off. So I really enjoy somehow this things that I can still somehow understand realistically, because I don't really think anybody using a smartphone understands circuit boards, semiconductors that are in sizes of nano, which I don't know. Nobody gets even close to repair such things. These things just get replaced. So nobody really gets any kind of involvement with these things. Unlike with these old things, you could fix basically anything. Somehow I feel like people were more involved in life rather than being straightforward consumers that don't even understand how things work. And somehow I feel like we are really going towards the utopia in the movie called Wall-E, where we'll be just talking to AI that will be answering any thought that passes through our mind that we're curious about to be answered. Everything will be so sorted out that we won't even have to move and such things. We won't have to bother with solving anything, which will render us completely, I don't know. I don't even know the adjective. Definitely vulnerable. So yeah, I'm coming here to this car. I even got it for this very reason. I feel like it's my kind of a time capsule, my time machine. It takes me to somewhere where I haven't even lived. Even though when I was young, these cars were not scarce as they are today. They were pretty random. But I don't know. The hijacking of these cars is easy. So as cars progressed in safety, I think people really preferred something that's not so easily hijacked, I guess. And then there's the, of course, comfort levels and such things that also people sought. And of course the, for many, provoking and irritating symbolism of the regime under which this was produced. Well, none of that really irks me in any way. I don't really see any kind of connotation to this car in any way. To me, it's just an old car that people used to use a lot. And of course, I wouldn't use it as a daily driver nowadays for many reasons. But I'm surprised how I over-expected it to be more, or maybe like less comfortable, and it's actually not. I expected it to be much more noisier, but it's not. So, and after a while you really get used to it, like the steering wheel being a little bit harsher, the brakes to be pressed harder. But at least you feel the forces. You know what the car is actually like handling and dealing with, all the forces and such things. It makes you more aware that you don't really realize in a car that has everything sorted out for you by computation and hydraulics and all sorts of things. I guess it's not for everyone, but as I said, to me this brings somehow some kind of strange peace. And lately I really just enjoy being by myself. You know, I just find it kind of tiring lately to deal with people. I don't know if I always was like that and just became aware of that, or it's something new that just intensifies. I don't know. It's not like I have some kind of social phobia. On the other hand, actually I can very well handle people and deal with people. The thing is, I just don't want to. I'm not in some kind of anxiety dealing with people. I just find people exhausting, tiring. So I'm kind of like saving my emotional energy by not dealing with people. Because so far life has not handed me the kind of people I would like to hang out with yet. But thank God for the internet, where I can at least virtually see that those people do exist in some form and shape. You know, the kind of people who want to change, who want to build themselves, progress, move forward, grow, self-develop, develop, whatever you want to call it, work on themselves and not just be procrastinating, you know, being a grown-up child. I don't know. This era we live in, and especially I feel like my generation, we have kind of weird opposites, polarization. We have some sort of emotional awareness that I feel like other generations didn't necessarily have. Maybe given by the circumstances that we are given. On the other hand, it comes with a lot of immaturity somehow. It's all in theory, but it's never been practiced, so we seem to be knowing it all, but not doing it all. That's just how I feel. Like, somehow, I don't know why it's always been like that, but people so much want to hang out with me. Always, always. There's even that meme on the internet, when you're introvert and that extroverted person constantly want to hang out with you. Like, that's just my life basically. But the thing is that the strangest thing about these people is you have your way of being, your personality, your character, your integrity, your opinions, even though you're willing to change them and be open-minded, but you have some kind of structure that you work with that changes over time, but still gives you some kind of guideline. And these people, they will just argue you out while they want you to hang out with you. They basically constantly like disagree with you, give you their opinions, yet the area of life on which they give you their opinions in their own life is totally messed up. They shouldn't be advising anything of that sort while you are sorted out. You know, you have that chatty moment as an introvert, so you say something and then that person goes 10 minutes disproving you how it's not entirely so. I don't know, I just don't need to deal with this. I know what I do, what works for me, what doesn't work for me. I know what I don't know, basically, what the areas that are blank in my life that I need to work on. But for somebody to just like open a discussion about something I already been through, lived through, sorted out, solved, got figured and works for me, I don't need these kind of conversations at all. It's tiring, it's boring. It's like talking kindergarten stuff as an adult. Like once you passed it, you passed it. I feel like it's the craziest thing about, I don't know what you want to call it. You can call it enlightenment, awakening, growing, whatever you prefer, is how absurd and meaningless and kind of like you just outgrow certain type of things, people, activities. They no longer faze you. And it kind of does leave you alone. I'm not saying lonely, but it leaves you alone. So at least me, I really can have fun with myself. I am never really bored, and I don't necessarily mean that I go watch TV or something. I mean, I have hobbies. I have my motorcycle, the maintenance of it, this veteran car. I fly planes. I just like to take photos. Who follows me on Instagram sees that I kind of try to be some sort of amateur photographer with, you know, like expressing my eye for beauty. So I always know what to do with my time when my workflow or necessary life flow things that needs to be done are done. So for me, really, like going out is not really like something that I need to experience, but I would like to have some kind of sparring friend, partner who would challenge, you know, the existential thoughts that I myself sometimes encounter in my life and could be, I know it's gonna sound a little bit arrogant, equal to these kind of topics, or perhaps even superior. And so far I have found these people only in books, and most of them are even dead. So that's also how I spent a lot of my time, you know, listening audiobooks. I'm not a big reader. I'm not gonna pretend that I read books. I listen to books. I really love spoken word. And that's what I do. I listen to a lot of people who were old and had it all figured out, seen it all. That's the kind of wisdom I'm really craving. You know, it's at some point of life you start to, instead of chasing what gives you kick, you start wondering what is it that gives the kick and why. And once you kind of go into the core of these whole issues, I think it simplifies life a lot, because you stop chasing your own tail in some way. Definitely a lesson I have learned recently is I've been a little bit cured of naivety. I trust people a little bit too much because, my wife says that I try to see good in everyone, and that's really my mistake, I guess, is that I do not judge people who should be judged. I think I don't know, it's kind of something I'm trying to integrate in myself, is to really I don't know, give up on people in some way. I always felt like hoping in their good as like something that helps me to see the world as a better place, but I've come to a hard lesson to see that that kind of philosophy does not work. And as one of my favorite philosophers says, it's not beliefs that liberate you, it's crushing them. I know this might not be agreeable to all people, but I know how he meant it, so I can integrate it in how he thought this to be in a context. Of course, it's not a quote on its own. I wanted to do this kind of content. Several times I tried it on motorcycle, but I have an open helmet, so it always was windy and you couldn't hear me properly. Then I've tried it in this car, but the camera was not set well, it was taking the wrong angle. So everything takes learning curve. So hopefully I've done it wrong enough times so that this time around it can come out at least acceptable in some way and form. And yeah, this is what I was really thinking, because that's the most things I do in my free time. I take this car or I take my motorcycle. I haven't figured the motorcycle yet. I guess I'll have to get a helmet that's closed, even though I really don't like them that much. But for the sake of making this kind of videos, I will do. Oh, I wanted to take a different path, but I'm going on default this way. Because I came this way, so I wanted to take another one home, but because this one is more busy. I came like at 7 in the morning on Saturday, so there was nobody on the roads, but now this one is a little bit like the main one, so more traffic coming, I guess. So you know, with people, I think I've noticed something lately. I've been trying to analyze it a bit to figure for myself what I'm dealing with, what's my psyche like. And apparently it seems like I kind of developed some kind of hypersensitivity where when I'm surrounded by people, I kind of absorb their own emotional state that they are currently in, and it's very hard for me to distinguish what's my feelings and what's their feelings. And on top of that, anything I'm doing, I feel like I'm being looked over my shoulder, and it kind of puts me off in a weird way, as if you were in school and you knew for the tests the answers and you had the knowledge, but the teacher was looking over your shoulder what you're writing there, and it kind of put you off. So this kind of happens to me when I'm with people. So I enjoy really doing things alone because I don't have to explain anything. It's so ceaseless of chatter. I mean, it's without the ceaseless chatter. That's what I meant to say. You constantly do not explain yourself and try to put in words the micro intentions you have. When I'm alone, I'm the most productive. I get things done. I just don't even think about it. It's just the kind of flow. You enter in this Tai Chi mode and things just happen. You don't really think in your mind, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. No. Just wordlessly, thoughtlessly, you act. And that's the kind of state I really love. It's like driving a car or driving a motorcycle. It's the same thing. You just live your life, doing your things, getting things done. But once there's a person, suddenly you have to consider and involve, and they interrupt you and you forget, and the whole flow is lost. And I've been trying lately to keep it, hey veteran, yeah. I've been trying to be able to maintain the flow even under these kind of circumstances that are disrupting to me, but it's difficult and maybe not even possible. So really, being alone is this kind of amazing state. I mean, it would be amazing to have somebody who would be in very synchronistic state and could cohabit with that, right? I'm talking like friends and such. I guess maybe the baby coming into our life made me realize a lot about myself somehow. I don't know what it does to your subconscious mind, but it definitely triggered some sets of things to go into motion. I can still go around the other way. I can still join that route. I just thought about it in that quiet moment. How can I rejoin it? From here. Yeah. Think I might have some traits of what you could say of being on a spectrum, some kind of minor autism. These things are not that simple. They're very complex, very individualistic. So just that I feel like I might have some of those traits. Which I see as a virtue, not as a vice, though. I think they are really, like, the concentration level is amazing. I really don't understand people who can't concentrate. Like, concentration is so satisfying thing. I mean, it's the purpose of meditation, right? So, yeah. When I'm alone, that's exactly what I would try. I can concentrate so well. I don't know if I can bring it to that level that no matter what happens around me, I be unbothered. I don't know. And you know, as you have the flow, you get good feeling because things get done. I have exactly this kind of person close to me from family that is completely unable to concentrate and therefore gets nothing done, and therefore is in the vicious circle of being frustrated and guilty and I don't know what, and that kind of down spiral. And it honestly frustrates me to even hear about it as the person I am, because it's such opposite of who I am. So really crazy. You know, I was very Terracing, by the way, this is town where a famous, or I don't know if that's the proper word, you know, famous, like a known, well-known concentration camp of Nazis used to be in this city, town. This city is basically a fortress, so since nobody was supposed to get in to fortress, they used it so that nobody gets out. We are passing it around, but if I turn left, we would be already going through the walls of the fortress. We might be able to see some, but I don't think this route, it's really the outer route completely. Yeah, you can see there's some armored vehicle. You know, I got this car as kind of extension of myself, because I always felt like I need to do only things that benefit me somehow and are straightforward, necessary and such things. But then I realized that if some sort of vanity gives you a good feeling, then it's not vanity. I mean, as long as it's moderate, right? And it's not like overtaking over your life and such things, of course. But I've had set my eyes on such thing for the longest time, but I always talked myself out of it, you know. I had the means, I had everything, but I was like, come on. And now it's actually the thing that my go-to to enjoy myself, and it just boosts my well-being somehow, and I don't know. And the nostalgic looks I get from people, that's awesome. Like, people just smile, because I can literally see how they are having flashbacks. Right, you see that motorcyclist just eyeing this. They are smiling, they are waving, because everybody probably in this country who was born till 80s has sat in one of those, because that's how common they were. So it brings memories, it brings nostalgia, it brings sentiment, and it's very nice. Some people get a sports car because they want the attention and showing that roaringness and such things. But this is straight, pure heart joy. Jolly as it can get. And that's the kind of things I'm really into lately, just joyous little things. God willing, I keep this one until I'm old, because it will be really amazing. I hate hoarding, and I'm kind of the person who likes simple life, simplification, so this really doesn't fall into that formula necessarily. But I don't really care about formulas. Like, I can break the pattern if it like the pattern is not a law. So being old and having it in this good shape and with all the memories, and being it already old now, it will be super old then. Yeah, I hope that it's that kind of family, what do you call it, treasure. You know how kids always show, oh, this was my dad's car, and they're sitting on it as a baby. So that's the kind of a thing I want to achieve, but it will be actually even older when my baby is grown up and will look at those photos. Okay guys, I think it's enough. I'm not gonna entirely bore you for the whole day. If you reached here, thank you for watching. I think that shows that we might have something in common, since you've enjoyed the trip through my mind a little bit. And see you next time. Bye.